Hi guys, this is Alice from Straight Code. Today I'm going to show you how to scrape historical data for Bitcoin. This tutorial is beginner friendly and I'm going to be showing you two methods side by side. One is with request and beautifulsoup. The other one is with XPath and Selenium. Beautifulsoup a little bit more friendly. However, some of the website may not let you do that. In that case, you can use Selenium and XPath to get the data anyway. So what I'm going to go through today, the same technique can be applied to any other website you would like to use to get your data from. So let's get started. I will be showing you these methods using coinmarketcap.com as our example. When you first come to this page, you notice there's a time option, and I simply selected all time, and you can choose the range of dates you want to have. And today I'm going to show you how to get the date. You can use to get open or close or any other category you like to get. As well, I will show you how to export that data to an Excel file. And there's many other ways you can export your data, but I'm just going to show you how to make it into a CSV file. So first you wanted to open up your Python. I'm using Spider and Python 3.6. I will also put the link to download that in description. Right here, I'm first going to show you how to use request and beautifulsoup to get these data. I like to put them into lists, so I will have a list of all the dates. I'll have a list of all the high and anything else you want. So to do that, you just simply create a list, and I will call it date list.
I will say high list, and I will create as well a low list.
Okay, so to import requests, also import beautifulsoup. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is to have a request to get the page right here. And to do that, you type in r equals to requests.get and the string, the URL of the page you wanted to get. Just copy, and paste it here, and you can just run that. Okay, and now you can look at R. Response 200 means everything's good. Next thing is to create your soup, which is soup equals to b4.beautiful. So the beautifulsoup is a parser, so you wanted to use it to help you organize your HTML that you get from it. You can try. I'm pretty sure it will work right here, but just in case. So if you run that, it takes a second, but then again, if you just type in soup, you should be able to get something like this. If you look back at this page, let's just try to get the date first. HTML. So you will right click at the first date and go to the very bottom, click inspect. You can see how the HTML is structured here. And if you notice, when you hover your mouse on the HTML script, element that's representing will be highlighted. Okay, so now I know that the first is a TD element in this table. So I'm going to try to get that. To do that, I would do soup.find. So I tell it to go to this mumble jumble here and to find the very first thing that's called TD. And I got April 22nd, 2019, and that is the first element. Let's see if we can find this first element here. So this is a TR element, and the class, you do brackets with the string of the class name, which is class here, and you do this and text right and a comma. Okay, so you found all of these steps. Now the first thing, if you take a look here, is the dates. The second one is the open, and then you have the height, the low, so on. So to go forward, I just want the date. What I do is to tell it to not only find this, I want it to keep finding TD here. And the class of that is bracket class. If you look over here, it's text left. Oh, I'm missing a print. Oh, I'm missing a bracket. Okay, so now you got date, but you also got TD class text left. So to get rid of that, you can just say .text. No, now you know how to get just the date. Okay, so from here, a good way to go is a little loop. So I'm going to teach you a quick trick here. It's a little cool algorithm. So here it is. I'm going to loop through all of these TR elements. So if you take a look, they're all exactly the same. So I kind of discovered that when I was looking at the website. What I want to do is to go through all of these, and then I'm going to grab each one of the element that has the date in it inside of this TR element. Call it TR equals to, we already found that earlier, which is this. So it's the TR class equal text rights. And instead of .find, I want to find all of them, so I'm going to do .find all, and that will give me everything. And I'm going to say for item in TR. So right now at this point, TR is a list of all of these elements here. So for each item inside of this list, I'm going to do item.find the second part. Okay, find this. Not only am I going to find that, I'm going to print that. And I don't have everything to show you what it looks like. Well, that's a bunch. Alright, I go all the way to April 28th, and you can see I have successfully gotten all of the dates. Okay, so from here, instead of printing them, which is kind of pointless to me, I'm going to say date list, which is what I created for date, dot append this item, this date. So if I just do this, what will happen? I'm going through the list of TR again, and I'm going through each one of them. I'm going to get the date from each one of these elements, append them into my date list. So if I just run that, check it out. I have catched 2,186 elements. And if you open that, these are everything in your date list now. It's pretty cool. Okay, so we have successfully gotten the date, and what I'm going to do is to get high. Do that. Well, here's another neat trick. So if you take a look of these data here, this doesn't work if it's not like this. There's no missing data. And I think that's probably correct. But this doesn't work if you're expecting one day of like the market completely closed or something like that. And therefore, I'm going to use this other neat trick. So then again, I have this, right? And I'm going to get the first items. Instead of going in like I did earlier to find the class name and the text left, I'm going to just say .find all of the TD. And that's going to give me everything in there. And then I'm going to say, I'm pretty positive the second element in here is going to be what I want, right? Again, in Python, 0, 1, 2. So this is 2. So it's my second element. And .text. And you get the 5,400 cents. This is another cool trick. And I'm going to put it here. I'm going to say hi list dot append item dot find this. And then you can probably use the same way to get whatever, anything else. I'm gonna just do market cap right now.
Count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 element. Oh, I have load. I'm gonna do market cap actually. Okay, market cap. It's this. And
okay, so let's just run this and test it out. Okay, so you have everything. Just because we grabbed it in terms of order and we don't have any other try and accept statements here or anything like that, you have to make sure all the lists are in the same length. Okay, so to do these things in Selenium, first thing you want to import Selenium from Selenium import and WebDriver. If I can spell. Okay, great. And then driver, you're gonna say, I usually like to put the imports on top, and driver equals to webdriver.chrome, and you're going to give it a path of wherever your Chrome driver is at, and I'll put the link to download your Chrome driver in the description.
mine's a desktop.
Okay, so we have this, and probably I didn't catch that, so I'm going to show you again. If you type in this with your path, you will see a Chrome driver opening the browser. Okay, and then driver.get, same thing, you have to tell it which URL, which is this one, and go to that page.
Selenium is a testing software, so when you're doing this, you will be able to see kind of what it is doing instead of like when you're using Beautiful Soup, you don't get to see any of that. You can turn it off. It's a little bit slower, but it does give you a lot of more flexibility.
Okay, so now I have this page. I'm going to go for the date again. I'm just going to show you the date, and it's the same way you use to get everything else. And then I'm going to show you how to do the CSV part. Okay, so one thing is that it's not going to let you do anything else until the page is loaded, and it just so happen when you select date of all times, this website's a little bit slower. So like I said, Beautiful Soup is way faster, right? You know, if you try it out on other websites, you might realize some of the website doesn't let you get the data, like they prevent you. See how you remember like in the very beginning it says 202 response? That was a good news, and not all of the websites gonna give you that, and there might be some trial and errors, but you know, you will have a lot less of that with Selenium. Just when loaded, it may not be focused on your element. You just do the same thing again, right click, inspect. Now you have driver.find elements or element by XPath. So if you do element, it's kind of like when we do Beautiful soup.find, and when you do elements, it is like when you do Beautiful soup.find all. So it's the same thing. You can get one thing or multiple things at a time. And remember that every single time when you're getting the one element, you're only getting the very first one. So it's a little bit different in Selenium. You can also do driver.find element by tags, or you can tell it to do a lot of different things, even interact with a page by using another built-in functions. So right here, I'm just going to show you how to do it with XPath. So first thing is to type slash, and the slash just means to go through everything. Like the element could be located in the middle of the page, right? So I would do slash slash. I'm sorry, it's slash slash like this. Say again, I'm gonna say td class equal to text left, or I can try to find this tr and bracket now at class equals to double parenthesis of, you know, the class name, which is text right over here. gonna show you, yes, Selenium had find this web element here, and you can't really do anything with it until you say .text. Okay, so now you get a bunch of stuff. There's many ways to go from this point. You can tell it to go one more slash. One slash means go to the next child element. So I will also put the documentation for using XPath in the description. So if you want to learn more about that. But one slash just means to go down one child element. Child element is just something underneath that. And I will say go down one and find TD. Oops, it's right here, sorry. So the first element, I found the dates. Now, okay, so I'm going to show you what happens if I do that find elements. And you cannot do .text anymore because they are lists again. You can't get the text of a list. So it's going through and getting all the data right now. Now it's finally here. And same way we did this cool little trick, you can also use Selenium to do it. So right now I'm going to show you very quickly how to put all the data you have got into a CSV file. Okay, so this is just kind of what I do, and there's a lot of way to go about it. I'm just going to show you something. And by the way, you can also download this complete Python file on my website at straightcode.net/learn. And just go, I will put the URL in the description, so if you want to download this file and practice it, try it out yourself. So right now I'm going to show you how that is done. I usually have a little function, but I'm just going to show you, line by line right now. So I like to create the first row on the very top because in Excel usually the first row is actually the title, right? So this is just a little thing to help me. So I'm gonna say the first one is dates, right? And the second one is time, and the third is market cap. Then next I'm gonna say rows equal to zip. So I'm gonna zip up everything here. So I'm gonna have rows equal to zip of date lists, high lists, cap lists, and enter. Oh, I typed data list. Okay, and then from here with open, and then I will give it a file name. I'm gonna call this coinmarketexample.csv, okay? And you're gonna tell it to do what? Write, which is W. And you just have to put in these things. And you're gonna tell it to every single time, comma, new line equals to this as my CSV file. I'm gonna say links writer equals CSV.writer, my CSV file. And I'm gonna say links writer.write row. I'm gonna put write row 0. So sometimes I put them separately because sometimes if you have nothing in the list, you can still see the title. Then I would say for item or anything in rows, I'm gonna do links writer.write row of item, and that's it. Oh, right, you have to import CSV. Then you should have it. You can just search your file name. You should see your CSV file. Okay, so that was very beautiful. So I have all of the data in CSV now. And one thing, be very careful is like you have to make sure, oops, these are from my other script. All of these lists are in the same length. So then just make sure they're all in the same link, then you will have something like this. So that's our end results, and that worked very well. Okay, so to complete this, you can grab all of these and put it in here, and make sure you import CSV and role 0. And when you run the script, you would just automatically get the CSV updated. If you look again, I have date, high, and market cap, and that is what I type here for role 0. And this is very helpful when you have a lot of things piling up. Another great thing about this is if you're trying to get data that's constantly updating, right? Like this, so a day after or 2 days after, every single time I come here to my script, I just press play. It's gonna go to that page, get all of data updated, and create the same, update my CSV file. So every day, instead of copying, pasting, or anything like that, you just automated this whole step. And you can run it as many times you need to. For some reason, you don't want it to update your current CSV. The next time you run it, just change the name and a new file will be created. Okay, and also I forgot to put this here. And don't forget, if you want to download this, I will put the link in description. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.